Hello everyone, and on today's edition of Submerge Me PC, we're going to dive into the contents of the Conductonaut package from Thermal Grizzly, why we are going to use this on our build, and what our expected results are going to be. Okay, so first and foremost, the why. If you've been following along this channel, you've probably noticed by now that I'm not quite happy with the temperatures that we have on the system. I feel that there's a lot of performance being left on the table, so I have continued to do research and just overall thinking on what could possibly be going on with the system, the different layouts, if you will, what the different possible solutions could be, the kind of ranking them, from best to worst, case scenarios, as far as price wise goes and everything like that. I wanted to kind of have a vision for this build, so I've been in touch with the guys over there in Engineered Fluids to kind of get them on the same page with me for this build, to kind of get them to see the vision that I have for it, and to kind of see what we can do to get me there along the way. Now, with that being said, I started thinking that the thermal interface material that I was using, which is the Arctic Silver 5, wasn't quite doing the job that it was intended to be doing. Now, granted, for the sake of disclosure, it's not meant for this type of application, so that's kind of a given that it is, possibly the culprit for this, the temperatures we're seeing. So I started doing, like I said, doing some research, got in touch with those guys over there. They are very helpful as far as communication goes and everything like that. They kind of help anybody out so far. They've been great with me. They suggested that I use indium's heat springs. Now, upon going out to the website and doing some investigation on that actual solution, I noticed that the price tag on that was a little bit high. It's still a possible solution, but not quite one that I wanted to go with as far as with the vision for this build. Now, while I was out there on their site, I actually started doing some research on some liquid metal. They had some there that they offered, was definitely a lower price point from their heat springs. However, it was still quite expensive compared to what I really had in mind. So I started doing a little bit of digging around on the web and came across this Conductonaut, which upon examining it, come over here and flip it over in the back, I'll show you. This is the main reasons why I kind of got into it. It's, as you see here, it is made for overclocking. It has a maximum thermal conductivity, and this was the main reason why I stumbled upon it, is it has an increased indium content, which is, like I said, what they suggested for over there from Engineered Fluids. So I kind of turned them on to this as well. They aren't familiar with this material as far as if it's on their compatibility list they have on their website. So they're going to be doing some testing on their side to kind of see how it responds to things, so as well as the testing that I'm going to be doing on my side of things. So I'm actually going to be looking forward to giving my results that I find to them to kind of see how it matches up with theirs. But if you can see here, it actually is, the thermal conductivity for this material is off the chart compared to the Arctic Silver 5. Now, it has an operating temperature of 10 degrees to 140 degrees Celsius. Now, this is not good for any kind of sub-zero liquid nitrogen applications, but we're not getting into that. Ours is, like I said, we're doing submersion here on this channel. So that's where we're going to go with that. Now, that brings us to what we expect. Now, I totally expect that with this application onto our CPU and possibly onto our GPU, and just for the sake of a disclosure on that, is still running the stock thermal paste that came straight up from out of the box. So I'm actually looking forward to possibly applying this to both our CPU and our GPU to see if we can actually get those temps down on that side as well, and just get our overall temperatures down on the system dramatically. That's what I'm expecting out of this. I will say this much: I've never used this myself. This is all going to be trial and error. Now, this is a electrical conductive material. It's actually an alloy of several different materials, and it will cause possible short circuiting if you aren't careful with applying this. Now, it's say if you drop some on the motherboard and it crosses over some circuits it's not supposed to, upon firing up your system, it will short circuit out and fry some stuff. So definitely be careful with that. That is the main reason why I'm not going to go into any kind of video tutorial on how to apply this, because like I said, this is something I've never done. I don't want to lead you down the wrong alley, if you will. I want to just kind of give you the results once I kind of learn, hopefully not from my mistakes, but just from the videos I've seen out there. There's a lot of different tutorials out there that you can find that show you how to apply this. According to the instructions here, you just want to use after you clean the surface with the alcohol pads, you want to use a very small pinhead size drop right there with a cotton swab, and then mount your heatsink. So like it says here, it is not to be used with any kind of aluminum heat sinks. This alloy will interact with several different materials. Now, as far as I can see, everything out there on the web shows that nickel plated copper, plain copper, you're fine. You will get some interaction with this, kind of some discoloration, if you will, with the copper and so forth like that, but nothing that's apparently going to hurt the thermal performance of your heatsink or anything like that. So that should be good. But with aluminum, it definitely will like instantaneously react to the material. So definitely keep that in mind if you're using that. Now, if your heatsink by any chance has aluminum fins on it, but the actual contact plate is nickel plated copper or copper, you'll be fine. Just as long as you don't actually get some on the fins, you'll be okay. But definitely keep all that in mind when using this. So we'll go ahead and jump into what we have inside the contents here and see what we have. Okay, all that just seems to be more materials. Instructions on how to apply it. Okay, put all this over here. Okay. We have 2 cotton swabs. We have a couple of alcohol pads they provided with us. Like I said, they want you to clean that off before you apply it. We have our different heads here. This is the one I'm probably going to end up using. This is for the easiest applicator. And from the videos I've actually seen, this is actually going to be handy because if you use too much, you can actually use this tip to kind of suck some back up into the syringe, which this is our syringe here. Very simple, straightforward syringe. And that's that. Now, just to give you another disclosure here, Thermal Grizzly is not a sponsor of this video. So anything that you see here is just for my own personal use. They do not promote anything you might see here on this channel. So keep that in mind. And if you will, go ahead and take this time to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell because, like I said, once we get this applied and I get some more testing out there as far as the temperatures goes and the results, I will be releasing some more content. So make sure you do that so you'll get those notifications. And that should be that. So hopefully, guys, we'll see you soon. Take care.